Namaste. Oh, I am so glad to be with you again today. And if this is your first time tuning in or you're a regular viewer or subscriber to the podcast, welcome, welcome. I am Gloria Grace, a spiritual business coach, helping entrepreneurs leverage their intuition to break through revenue ceilings and achieve sustainable business growth. And as part of the entrepreneurial journey, oftentimes you'll start out by yourself, right? I know I certainly did, started out as a solopreneur. And when you're doing that, when you're growing your business, you may think about the possibility about bringing on a partner. And that's what we're going to be talking about today is why you might want to have a business partner and maybe why you may not want to have a business partner at the same time. So let's talk about this. What are some of the benefits? Well, certainly when you have somebody else in your business, I can tell you that it would be really nice for me to have that at times because then you have someone to bounce ideas off of. And I know for me, because I don't have a business partner, what I've done instead is I have participated in masterminds or networking groups so that I can get some feedback and get some ideas or get people to either validate the ideas I have or perhaps give me ideas, help me come up with new ideas. So when you yeah, so having a business partner gives you that opportunity to have someone to bounce ideas off of, which can be very helpful. A partner can also help you to maybe bridge the gap in expertise that you may need in running your business. So perhaps maybe you're like the big idea person, but then you bring on a partner who can handle some of the nitty-gritty stuff that needs to be done, making sure that you are you have processes in place, let's say, to be able to accomplish some of the things you need to get done during the day, whether it's involved with marketing or sales or customer service, things like that. So, having a partner can be a great way to be able to facilitate that. Also, having a partner may be someone who has a little bit of better access to funds. It could be beneficial to you. So that's sometimes why people will bring on partners because uh, they have resources. They've got monetary resources or maybe some other resources. And also, a partner can help to possibly bring in new opportunities to the business that you may not be able to find on your own. So, sounds great, right? What could go wrong? Well, excuse me, sorry. There are risks involved in a partnership. One of the big ones is that conflicts can arise. And if you are come into a disagreement, this can be a big problem. And there's lots of ways that conflicts can come up. It can come up, but in the direction of how you want to run the company, or maybe it starts to involve money, and there can be real problems there. And if you have an informal partnership where you don't have a clear agreement, let's say a written agreement of each partner's responsibilities, that can get dicey because then that could cause resentment, so because one partner may look at the other partner and say, "Why aren't you doing XYZ? I'm doing all of these things here." Whereas if you had had it spelled out from the beginning, then each partner would know their responsibilities, and that would help. It also, when you have a partner as opposed to when you're just running your business by yourself, of course, it's gonna take longer to make decisions because you're gonna have to both weigh the pros and cons, and maybe they wanna do more research and you're ready to go and just, hit the ground running doing something. And again, that can cause conflicts. Financial decisions can also impact each of you personally because you may be indiv individually responsible for any business debts that your partner is unable to pay. So, again, there's a lot of benefits to having a partnership, but there can also be some downsides. And I would encourage you to think long and hard, to really look at all of the legal ramifications. You can go online, you can research, you can talk to other people. Maybe you have other either clients or other folks in your network that have a partnership, and you can ask them for advice and say, "Hey, I'm thinking of bringing in a partner. What's been your experience with this?" And get some advice before you make a decision that you may regret later on. Now, in the meantime, if you are a solopreneur, and I suspect that probably a lot of you are who've been listening to this podcast for any length of time, or watching the live streams that I do on social media, I want to tell you that even though you are only in your business, you're the only person in your business right now, that you do have a partner with you. It's a silent partner, but a very powerful partner. And I actually, the inspiration for this episode came about because I had remembered that I'd actually written a blog article about this several years ago. So, what am I talking about? How is there a silent business? How is there a silent partner in your business? Well, the silent partner you have is God, spirit, source, universe, whatever you refer to, however you call that higher power in the world. That is actually that's your silent partner in the business. So how do you get that person's, well, not person, but you know what I mean? How do you harness God's guidance or spirit or source? How do you get that? Well, it's about letting go and letting God, source, the universe. Let's say that you have a particular challenge. I'll give you an example. Let's say you have a particular challenge in your business and you are trying to come up with a solution for it, and you don't know what to do. You're stumped. You are just really feeling frustrated. You don't have anybody to bounce ideas off of or to even get ideas from. And so it's really making you frustrated. So rather than focusing on the how about it, instead, I encourage you to let go of that and just trust that an answer will come. That sounds easy, right? You're like, okay, yeah, sure, Gloria. How is that going to actually happen? I can't just forget about it and expect that an answer will come. I hear you. So hang in there. Trust me for a moment. Let me explain. I've talked about this on the podcast before many times, in that what this is really about is harnessing your intuition. It's about trusting your intuition. And in order to do that, you I recommend that you be still. There's a lovely phrase, you've probably heard it, be still and know. So just be still. So that could mean spending time in meditation. It could mean going out for a walk, clearing your head. Hey, I've even gotten ideas in the shower before. So it could mean getting in the shower. And but again, just letting go of your focus on that particular issue and instead do something different. But I will tell you that a regular meditation practice of some sort, whether that's sitting down and meditating, whether it's going outside for a walk every day, but spending time in silence every day for at least, I would recommend really 15 minutes. I know some people said, and I think I've even said on the show before, 5 minutes is good, but I think you need at least 15 minutes of good silence. And like I said, that could be sitting down, it could be going for a walk outside, it could be, if you're fortunate enough to live by the ocean like I do, going to the beach and sitting there, just somewhere where you can quiet your mind and trust that an answer will come, because I will tell you, it will come. It may not come right away. It may not come in the way that you expected. You could be walking down the street, you could be driving, and all of a sudden you see a billboard that has a message, and it suddenly triggers you to think, "Oh, that's it. That's what I can do." Or you could be, and I've told this story before, when I got the idea to write my book, I wasn't sure how to write a book about love. I I was focusing on online marketing. That was my business. And I thought, this is crazy. How am I going to write a book about that? I just felt like I was not an expert in that at all. And so instead, I just let it go. I went, took the dogs out for a walk, I had breakfast, came back later, got on my computer, and lo and behold, I go through my email, and there's an email from Hay House advertising a writer's boot camp to teach you how to write a book. And for those of you who may not be familiar with Hay House, they publish personal development books, spiritual books. And so I knew if anybody could teach me how to write a book about love, it would be Hay House. And so that's how things happen. When you let go, I let go of the how I was going to do it. I let go of the how, and voila, an answer came through. So that's what I mean about being able to rely on this silent partner. You've got a really powerful partner in the business. And if you don't believe in God, then believe in yourself. Believe that you have intuition. And again, it takes some time and some practice to cultivate it. But when you do, answers will come to you, ideas will come to you, opportunities will come to you. It just takes having some faith and courage, but mostly trust, faith and trust in letting go and knowing that the answers you seek will come because they are all within you. And even if they're not, here's the other beautiful thing about this, which I believe, and I know that I, I'm not alone in this belief, is that we are all connected. We are all human beings on this planet. We are all energy. We are all made of energy. And when we get quiet, when we do spend time in silence, you can tap into that collective consciousness. I know some well-known psychiatrist has talked about this before, and I want to say Carl Jung, I think. When you are quiet, you can tap into that. So it doesn't necessarily need to be you, but you are tapping into other people's brains. And that's why being in a mastermind, I will also say this, and I firmly believe in the power of a mastermind because when you bring together a group of people together and they're presented with one person who has a particular challenge or an issue, or they're looking for ideas. When you all come together, it just creates this much more powerful brain that can help you to come up with ideas and solutions. So if you are not a member of a mastermind, I would highly encourage you to join one because they are wonderful things. And it can be even part of a networking group. If your networking group maybe offers masterminds. And I will tell you that I have a group that I have created that I started last year, and it's called the Soulful Women's Network. And we have a Facebook group. It's a free Facebook group, but we also have a membership. And what we do is we will meet either online or in person once a month. And as part of that, we do brainstorm, we do masterminding as part of that because I so believe in the power of that. So if you would like to check out the Facebook group, you can look for Soulful Women's Network on Facebook, or you can go to bit.ly/soul network. That's all lowercase. I'll have that in the show notes as well. But I would love it's a network of women, whether you're working or not working. Of course, most of the connections I have are entrepreneurs, and so so most of the people in the group are entrepreneurs. But I would love for you to check that out. So let me just recap here. So we talked about the benefits of having a business partner. Gives you someone to bounce ideas off of. You can bridge the gap in expertise, might help you with funds. But of course, there's a lot of risks involved with conflicts, and financial issues and things can come up. So at some point, you may still want to do that. But if you are a solo entrepreneur right now, just know that you still have the capability of getting help in your business by tapping into your own intuition. So I want to share with you right now a daily word, and I love to do these from Unity, and this one is about the concept of letting go. And this is from July 28th, 1981. And the affirmation is, I let go and let God work through me in wondrous ways. And it says, to let go and let God does not mean that we do nothing, that we take no responsibility for our life and the handling of our affairs. To let go and let God means to let go the feeling that we are alone in meeting what has to be met, to know that God is with us. To let go and let God means to let go of strain and stress and anxiety, to let go the feeling of being burdened and laden with care. We are more able to do what needs to be done by us as we realize that God is working through us. If we need to feel assured about the outcome of some situation, it is time to let go and let God, to turn it over to God, to release it into God's care. The power of God, the love of God is at work in us, in the situation, and in any other person concerned in it. As we let go and let God work through us, we feel relaxed. We are at peace in mind and body. We are filled with faith and confidence. God works through us in wondrous ways. And then the scripture reading is from Psalms 46:10. And I mentioned this earlier. It says, be still and know that I am God. So I hope that you will take to heart what I shared with you today and appreciate the benefits of doing that, of truly listening to your intuition, asking for guidance from source. Another good tip, I've read this one time too, is that before you go to bed at night, if you do have a particular problem, just say, set the intention. Here's a good thing. Set the intention that in the morning, an idea will come to you. And you may be surprised at how effective that can be, because it's like you're programming your brain before you go to sleep to come up with that solution. And if you've ever tried that, I would love to know if that worked for you, or if you're willing to try it and see how it comes. Let me know. I would love to know. You can go to you can go to my website, frankly. Just go to gloriarand.com and leave me a comment. Let me know how that goes, or connect with me on social media. I would love to know that. Okay. One last thing before we close out our episode today. For those of you who this is your first time, something I do every week when I'm doing my solo episodes is I share something called light language. And this is a channeled message from the higher realms. And it is a way to, it's a sound healing modality, really, is what it is. It is, my clients who have experienced it always feel very relaxed, and it's also very good at helping you to hone your intuition as well, because it again, it's connecting you when you receive the messages that come through, receiving it really with your heart and your soul, because that's what's going to absorb it, to take it in, that it can help you to be able to open up your own intuition, and it may even open you up to the possibility of channeling light language yourself, because that's how I was exposed to it, and how I eventually became able to do it is because I heard someone else channel it. And when I heard that person do it, I started crying because it just spoke so much to my soul that it was like this huge release of like, this is what we wanted to hear for so long. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So I will encourage you, if right now, to, before I get ready to share this message, if you are somewhere where you're operating a car or something like that, to pause the podcast, come back to it later, or if you're watching it, pause the video, come back to it later, somewhere where you can be quiet, be still, and just allow the words and the song that may come through to just be able to listen to it with an open heart and an open mind. And I will tell you again, if this is your first time ever hearing light language, it's a foreign language, but it's not a foreign language anyone speaks here on Earth. So it might sound familiar, but then again, you may not necessarily be able to translate it, and that's perfectly fine. Again, it's more of a language for your heart and your soul, and some people compare it to speaking in tongues. I was familiar with that as a kid going to a Pentecostal church. Excuse me one second. I want to have a drink of water before I do that. So just to, again, listen with an open heart and an open mind. And I'm setting the intention today that I'm going to ask spirit guides, angels, archangels to send me a message, to send you a message through me for you today, to help you to let go and let God, to be able to trust your intuition. Even if you do it now, maybe just trust it a little bit more fully, and to know that you are not alone. That's the important thing, truly, is that you are not alone in this world, that you have Source with you. You have God with you. All right. Kalyo no kuhu, kalyo kuyata he, kalyo fusenya he, kasoyo no kuhu, hayanaku, sekoya, sakoya no ki. Sekado, sahonya no ki, sekoya no kohuriato, asayana, kohoya no ku, sakoyo, sayo, koyo, hanayo no kuyate atsehiha, Hosi hoyano, hanakaya to koryano kiha, seheyo to wushyano ki, koryanana ki kalya toku, kasigo hoyaho, hakika kehiyano, hanyano ki koya, Sasha no hika, heisha no koeta, shako no kopa, tontokuria no kupa shingo no, hako no koshia no kona, hikario no kuria pataki kari, asana kariata, uko na manda de kiyata topana kiyata, kosha no kuya pana kiyata shia no kai, anakaria tokuya takoya mapam tikariato, Une kata no kuya no kuka he ani no koye koto sanko iku huyata he kayosha Koyanaku. I hope you received that with all of the love that it was intended for you. And I will let you know or encourage you if you would ever feel called to learn more about light language, let's talk about it. Go to engagewithgloria.com and let's have a chat, and perhaps learn a little bit more about it. You might want to schedule a session with me, because a private session is really powerful, because I will find out what's going on in your life right now, what you need particular uh, help with, some support with, and then I can set that intention so that the message you receive will benefit you specifically. So these messages I share through the podcast are lovely, powerful, and great for everybody, but it's really good to have something one-on-one. So if you go to engagewithgloria.com, that's engagewithgloria.com, and that'll take you right to my calendar, and you can set up an appointment with me, and I'd love to chat. So I think that's going to do it for this edition of Live, Love, Engage. I'm so glad that you were here today, and I hope that you will come back. If this is your first time, I hope you'll join us. We have interviews that I have done come out every Friday on the podcast platforms, and then these episodes. My episodes go out on Friday, and then I have interviews go out on Monday, because I do interviews with wonderful, amazing thought leaders, entrepreneurs, coaches, authors. And so those come out on Monday, and then these episodes come out every Friday for 2023. Not sure what I'm doing in 2024 yet. We'll deal with that 6 months from now. So for now, until next time, as always, I encourage you to go out and live fully, love deeply, and engage authentically.